Hi, welcome to another Alien Stage video, although this one is a little bit different. As a recent fan of the series who only started getting into it after Round 7 was released last year, I had quite the personal struggle in grasping the concept of the series in terms of character lore and world building. So, this video has been something I've wanted to do for a while yet ended up putting it on hold until now. With that in mind, if you are a newer fan or a casual viewer only deciding to get into it more, let me assist you a bit. With this video, I aim to make this as a helpful guide to Alien Stage. Please cue the applause. Let's get to the overview. Alien Stage is a world where humans, specifically those who are skilled in music and performance, have to participate in seasons and rounds to an alien audience. It's a lot similar like those singing contests and shows that you may have watched or heard of in TV, but with an interesting twist. It is an indie animation series made by Vivinos and Qmek, along with their team, who are usually listed at the end of each music video. You may have heard of this series being talked about on the internet at least once, especially with their latest release for Vika during Valentine's Day. And its first month anniversary is on this 14th! And yet it only feels like it's been yesterday since they stabbed us in the back and made me bawl my eyes out for days on end. Anyways, in my opinion, this series is popular for its music, storyline, characters, and even its art style. In this guide, I will be introducing various content types and sources of information in terms of getting more context aside from the main source, which are the music videos on YouTube. Available and accessible alternative sources such as the official Twitter account, free Patreon content, and analysis threads or videos shared by dedicated fans online. There are also other exclusive sources in terms of merch like the art book and paid content posts. However, these are limited content in terms of copies and paywall. Therefore, I will be unable to include any of them, especially the Patreon posts, in respect to the creators. You can, however, sign up to be a member in order to access these information and support and help fund them at the same time. But let's not worry too much about that, because there's still a lot of content available to work with. To those who may not already know, Alien Stage is a Korean animated series on YouTube in which it is set in a world where humans are no longer living on Earth, but under the domination of aliens as pets, or human pets. Alien Stage focuses on a group of humans who are born to sing and perform on stage much like your favorite idols. However, in this world, they perform to a crowd of aliens, where the contestants must sing for their survival, as those who lose may face heavy consequences. This series features characters such as Mitzi, Suwa, Till, Iban, Hyuna, and Luca, along with other characters you may find throughout the experience, exploring the different forms of love as a natural element in the characters' humanity, in the unique ways each one shows, handles, and defines their love. Other themes beyond that are friendship, growth, and change. Also a disclaimer, before anything else, I would like to emphasize that this video will contain some spoilers in the series, so I highly recommend you watch the whole thing first before moving on with this video, since this is more of a guide on what you can do after you watch the whole thing. But if you don't mind, you can still watch this first and then later on watch the series. It depends on you. Anyways, despite its popularity and the hype that comes with every new release, I think it's important to mention that Alien Stage has a lot of psychological and medical horror elements. It explores heavy topics such as exploitation, abuse, sexual abuse, and death. In its dystopian, alien-controlled setting, a lot of things can often be considered as morally gray among the characters and the events in the series. Things that are difficult or simply cannot be defined as pure good or pure evil. The lines in between these two sides are often blurred. So, if you are a younger viewer watching this video, I advise viewer discretion or at least watching it with an older sibling or a guardian who is 18 years and older. It's not really that I am discouraging younger people from becoming fans of Alien Stage, but more that I am encouraging you to be careful with the content you consume. A major element of the series and what makes it interesting is that it relies on visual depiction and music in terms of storytelling. The lack of constant narration and dialogues leave a lot of the story up to interpretation. Therefore, being familiar and equipped with media literacy is also an important aspect to have in order to really dive deep into the series. Or you can simply enjoy its songs and characters for fun. Make fan art and covers, share your own theories, that works as well. And I believe that's the most important thing to do above everything, to have fun. It's just that, like any other series, there can be disagreement and conflict within the fandom, usually due to different interpretations, headcanons, shipping, and misinformation. So please feel free to enjoy the series as you like. It is available on YouTube for everyone to watch for that very reason. Just please be careful with how you interact and engage with the series. As you may already know, the official YouTube channel for the series is under Vivinos' handle. And during my first time watching Alien Stage, I had a bit of struggle and confusion. So, here is a list in order of which video to watch from first to last, and a brief overview on each episode. This part may contain some spoilers. Round 1. My Calamities, Mitzi vs. Sua. A harmonious duet between two girls who put their hearts together into one sound, touching the hearts of many among the audience. However, what was initially thought to be a simple song meant to be performed for the sake of enjoying it, turns out into an unbelievable horror when Sua loses by a single point, leading Mizzy to barely win. Alien Stage, Sweet Dream. This is basically the introduction or opening to the series, showing glimpses of the characters as Sua sings for the background vocals, a symbolism for the sweet dream all of them do not have in the world they live in now. Seemingly far too out of reach, just like the celestial beings humanity used to worship in their world prior to the alien domination. Round 2. Unknown Till the End. Till vs. Acorn. A supposed duet unexpectedly turned into a solo performance by Till alone, leaving Acorn in the dark, showcasing his songwriting and musical talent with his guitar. With this explosive, strong, and even rebellious performance, he sings his heart out for the girl he admires to hopefully hear him, and Till ends up securing himself a win. Please note that the names of the NPCs are likely just aliases assigned to them, and I do not know if they have actual names. Also, apparently in the Korean language, Mitzi means unknown, so in a way you can interpret this song as Till choosing Mitzi till the end. Anyways, round 3. Black Sorrow, Iban vs. Marty. This time, it's a proper duet, and while Marty is shown to be singing, it seems that Iban's deep yet passionate vocals outshine their own. The song is Iban's, and he translates the emotions weaved into these lyrics loud and clear through his sound, making it his own, while his quiet yet strong yearning for Till intertwine with the melody. This ends up securing him a win with a large difference of numbers between their points. Round 4. Do not be alarmed if you find yourself having a hard time looking for round 4, because it simply doesn't exist. A popular take to this lacking round is that Luca's opponent refused to perform against him, likely knowing that it was a losing battle to go up against the previous season's champion. Round 5. Ruler of My Heart, Mitzi vs. Luca. And so we move on immediately to the 5th round, a duet between Mitzi and Luca, where we see a dynamic that doesn't seem to fit well together at all. A performance which highlights Luca's control on stage and among the audience, while Mitzi is hopeless and wary, unable to get her mind off of Suwa, which affects her performance with Luca through what seems like hallucinations. At the end, Mitzi cracks and furiously beats Luca physically, violating the rules, although it ends with the rebellion group coming in to save her just before she is eliminated. Top 3. This video reminds me a lot of an advertisement or like those short breaks in between performances, where they announce the 3 current nominees for the semi-final and final rounds: Till, Iban, and Luca in that ascending order. Mitzi Suwa. A backstory video of Mitzi and Suwa's first meeting back in their childhood, stuck in an empty void and finding solace in each other's presence before inevitably parting ways. It shows the contrasting personalities and treatments that Mitzi and Suwa individually receive and possess. All in, my personal favorite. After Mitzi is rescued, we meet the current leader of the human rebellion, Hyuna, in this video, showing us the life outside of Alien Stage and a glimpse into Hyuna's childhood, trauma, and hidden feelings. At the same time, we can see Mitzi slowly develop and adapt to this change of pace, learning to rely on others beyond Suwa and finding the courage to fight despite her initial unease. 2 different characters still carrying a resemblance, in which both of them inspire each other to take a step. Round 6. Cure. Till versus Iban. An intense duet between Till and Iban, though it feels more like an indirect and passive argument more than anything. There is a distance that separates them despite sharing one song, despite existing beside each other. And with Till losing his spark and will, Iban closes that distance unexpectedly and ends up prioritizing the rise of Till's points over his own. His last attempt to reach out to Till, leaving him with more confusion. Recording break. My brother is playing all in. Round 7. Blink Gone. Till versus Luca. The final round, a duet between Till and Luca, showcasing their different styles in music and performance, while they sing about living in the moment before time runs out, which is ironic because time was constantly becoming shorter for the one who is bound to lose. Luca performs with perfection and charisma, and I hate that he has the best part, which I love so much, whereas Till's performance is heavily being affected by his exhaustion, confusion, and trauma over Iban's sacrifice. While he thought all hope was lost, Mitzi appears at the last second. Viga, Luca, and Hyuna. In Viga, Luca had won the final round, so this song is not a round duet at all. But it did not equal to the unabashed joy he'd felt to stand on the same ground as Hyuna again, showing their individual and shared history as children during their time together at the Enact Garden. Luca perceived it as a reunion, Hyuna perceived it as a mission. But when a sudden threat from within the rebellion tries to eliminate Luca, Hyuna unexpectedly rushes to save him, portraying a contradiction of her feelings and the complexity of their love and relationship. Do not be fooled by Viga. Hyuna is alive, trust me. Aside from the official channel, there is also another channel named Studio Lico, which collaborates with Vivinos and the team, in which you can find the official songs released so far, and more importantly, the covers done by each of the characters. Additionally, you can also find the sub-audios or the characters' original songs on Spotify, in which I will be linking these 2 things in either the description or in a Google document. The covers are sung by the official voice actors of the series, each person assigned to a specific song or duet. However, in terms of these covers, I don't believe it is for the sole purpose of hearing a certain character sing a certain song, but more of that the song assignment and line distribution of a chosen song usually correlates and reflects the characters singing it, such as Sua covering Ruler of My Heart, likely an audio depiction of Mitzi's hallucinations of her during round 5, or Hyuna covering that same song but for a different reason, likely due to her relationship with Luca and the conflicting emotions that live within her because of it. Mitzi and Sua covering Cure, but their duet style is much more intimate and clear, representing the relationship, unlike Til's and Iban's, which was loud and desperate, representing their conflict and misunderstanding. But both songs still have this element of tragedy nonetheless. And there's also Luca's cover of Sweet Dream, a glimpse into his own yearning, the quiet humanity, and the desire to escape from his reality that is masked by his onstage persona and apathy. The sub-audios, on the other hand, again, they are released on Spotify, and they are the individual release of songs off stage, excluding All In. These sub-audios are usually found in the form of CDs, with Hyuna's kept intact and good condition, which makes sense since she is the only performer of her own free will at the moment. Love and Peace gives us a glimpse of Hyuna's inner conflict, likely around the time when she had lost her round in season 49, got injured, and tried to crawl her way out in order to survive. Drunken Party is the song she had composed as an impromptu, a little after she got into the rebellion, as an attempt to cheer up the people in the bar after sensing the doubt, dread, and gloom in the atmosphere due to the fact that their former rebellion leader, Jacob, had taken longer than anticipated to return from his mission at the alien stage. Unexpectedly, Iban also had his own sub-audio released, titled Nowhere, and with a bit of wordplay, it could also be read as Now Here. But unlike Hyuna's, his CD was covered up as if it was hidden away from the garden, likely sold off, and it also speaks of his character, such as his complex unspoken feelings, as well as mentions of his past as a child trying to survive from the slums, which was prior to being sold off to his wealthy guardian in the auction. On the official Twitter account, I have grouped the content available into 3 types: announcements, plot-relevant lore, and miscellaneous. Type 1. Announcements. They post a lot of different announcements aside from the premieres for official release, like lyrics teasers, audio releases on different platforms, merch releases, collaborations, sometimes Patreon updates, and the likes. Type 2. Plot-relevant lore. There are also plot-relevant lore content like comics after Vega or Round 6, or the introduction of Till's caretaker or parent called Io. Is that how you read it? Io? I don't know, I'm sorry. And also Sua's sister, or Hyuna's development after her escape. These comics usually build depth and give more context into a character's personality, motivations, or their past, as well as the more lighthearted comics that offer a glimpse into their childhood. Type 3. The miscellaneous content, in which it focuses more on illustrations for Alien Stage Fridays and birthday celebrations, along with modern and actor alternate universes, and perhaps more that I may have forgotten to mention. A lot of the older content from last year and before that are usually only posted in Korean, which are translated and shared by fans at the time. But recently, they have included more official English translations in their comics. I'll either link them in the description or share a Google Docs compiling these content, so there's no need to worry about having to dig and find it if you'd like to check it out. Also, for additional context, Alien Stage Friday is basically the assigned day where the official Twitter account posts comics or illustrations once a week, usually every 6 p.m. in GMT+6 Korean Standard Time. Sometimes they post on different days and add additional posts after the scheduled time unannounced, or like during this Friday, they give announcements when they are putting it on hold. They are also available on YouTube as well, as you might have checked in their community posts. It is either a day of cuteness and joy or a day of black sorrow. Anyways, these are the following hashtags often used by the official account. Now, let's move on to the Patreon account. It is a given that a lot of the content in Patreon are locked by paywall and exclusive to members only, meaning it can only be unlocked if you purchase Vivinos membership and pay for it. Usually, these exclusive content focus on behind the scenes, scraps and outtakes, concepts, and other miscellaneous illustrations and comics, usually for entertainment. Though it is undeniable that some posts important to the storyline are locked, but I believe it's not entirely dependent and limited to that. Basically, it's like if the YouTube music videos are the cake, the Twitter posts are the frosting, and the Patreon posts are the cherry on top. The cake isn't complete without the cherry, but it's still a cake that we can eat nonetheless. They just add more context into the information that we already have. So let's focus on what is available for everyone. Aside from the official Twitter account, they also post the comics on Patreon in various language translations, usually in Korean, English, and Japanese. Sometimes there are Chinese translations as well, but it's usually those three I have found. They also have interviews and magazines available, and they're really cool in terms of design and font. I love looking at them so much even though I can barely read it most of the time. But they have interviews for a couple of characters like Mitzi, Silla, Iban, and Luca, and then some of the alien guardians as well. Content warning for Haparu though. He looks so ugly in all of them. If you are interested in it, I will be including them in the links too. Don't worry, they have normal and legible text there as well. Since the series is an indie animation run by a small team, funds are really important. The music videos are available for free after all. And while they may receive income from YouTube, other sources are also important. This is when the Patreon-only content and merchandise come into play. And friendly reminder, if you do decide to purchase the Patreon member exclusive content, please avoid sharing the illustrations you have access to with the public. Sharing it exclusively with your friends are fine, but to upload and feed it into the internet where it can be reposted and spread numerous times all over different platforms can be damaging to their exclusive content's value, and therefore negatively affecting their funds as well. Think of it as commissioning an artist. The art you paid for them to make for you is yours to use, of course, but someone else could take it and use it if you upload it publicly online without any censorship or watermark. And if you think about it, wouldn't it be a waste of the money you spent? So, as much as possible, keep it to yourself and to a trusted circle of friends. I wasn't going to add the fandom Wikipedia as one of the sources available, but there is a wide variety of illustrations related to the series that are collected in the gallery, some of which are only available as either a part of merch, events, or collaborations such as the Enact Garden Collection, where the characters' respective special tests, skills are available as illustrations, or even their character profiles and stats. However, I do suggest to take the text written there with a grain of salt, because as this user brought up in one of my comments, some information from fandom wikis tend to have a chance of being either incorrect, biased, misinterpreted, or unconfirmed headcanons. I personally do not use the fandom wiki often unless it's to collect pictures for references in my art, and only did around the time after I just started watching Alien Stage. But I did later on realize that there actually was information about Luca that wasn't reliable, but was included in his section in the wiki, specifically regarding his conditions aside from his heart disease, in which it was claimed there that he had asthma and chronic migraines. This was not confirmed anywhere in the series nor the comics. Instead, these were information only implied in the Enact book and never stated as chronic, but more of symptoms leading to Luca's heart condition. I would honestly have loved to thank the Twitter user that I have spoken to about this, but for the sake of their anonymity, I will just leave it at that. So, as a precaution, the wiki can be a good source, but it is not entirely reliable, especially for a series like Alien Stage, in which it relies on a lot of interpretation. Even this guide that I am sharing may not be the 100% set in stone type of reliable regarding topics that are yet to be revealed. But that's okay, since my goal is simply to guide you into accessing these information, and I will be glad to restate topics that I may have gotten wrong later on. There is not much I have to say in terms of merch and collaborations. However, there are two specific merchandise that I think is worth mentioning a little bit: the Alien Stage art book and the Enact Garden book from the kit. The art book has a lot of concept art and beta or scrapped character designs, as well as full illustrations from the music videos that may have only been included partially. They also give context to their decisions and approaches to a certain scene, or explain the idea of a certain design or structure, and either why they kept it or changed it. There's also the Enact Garden kit, which, for the most part, are like stationary items such as their character IDs and prints, but they also have the book in which text regarding the characters or their grades and performance in their tests, two of which are available for free on Patreon. Again, I will link it either in the description or in a Google document organized by content type for your convenience. For the major part of the series lore, many would say that the books are a must-have since they are usually unreleased information that can't be found in the music videos or comics. However, the reason that I stand by my belief that it isn't something that you really need to understand the present general storyline is because this one topic regarding how Hyena had gotten her prosthetic leg, it was initially mentioned in only the book, but then is later on shown and released in Vika. But of course, it still contains details regarding the characters' past prior to their participation in their respective seasons, and even more information regarding their world. So it is a lot of help in terms of building up to the characters' present personalities and developments. In a way, I personally consider the paid content as Easter eggs and bonus content, but it is not really something that will leave you missing out the general plotline of the series, so there's no need to worry if it is not easily accessible. With the important lore stuff aside, there are also lots and lots of well-written analyses shared by fans on the Alien Stage community on Twitter, including myself. Though most of the stuff I share are usually about Hyena and Luca. Sometimes I talk about other characters, but really not as much as the two that I focus on. There is a huge difference, I have to be honest. I'm planning to elaborate on my existing threads from there so I can share it here later on as well. Also, there is a wide variety of analysis and interpretations, even theories available on Twitter for a lot of the characters that I recommend taking a look into if you're really interested in understanding the music videos or the characters beyond what you have seen for yourself. It's a refreshing eye-opener to be able to look at something in a different perspective, which I personally enjoy. There are also some analysis shared on TikTok, I think, though I can't see much since I'm not very active on that platform unless it's to post stuff. And there we have it! The helpful guide to Alien Stage has come to an end. I hope this video was helpful to you in catching up with the series. Definitely stay updated on Twitter, where most of their announcements go, if you want to prepare your schedule before any new and upcoming release for the series. Or perhaps your mental health like the rest of us every Friday. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or send me a DM on Twitter, or even a gimmick on my strawpage if you want to be anonymous. I'd be happy to help or just talk about our favorites. I have such immense love and deep fascination for this series and its world, especially its characters, and so I really wanted to be able to share it in ways more than one. And so this helpful guide to Alien Stage is one of my gifts, not only to fellow Alien Stage enthusiasts from one fan to another, but also as a quiet thank you to the creators who have been and still are working hard on the series. Again, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I hope you're still looking forward to the next one.